America's sleepiest fascist, Donald Trump, he did an interview with Time magazine this week. And there's a 100% chance he agreed to it so he could actually swap out his tacky photoshopped Time magazine cover that he framed with an actual one. And what emerged from these two interviews with him and some of his, confidence was an outline that would reshape America's role in the world. Now, this isn't going to be a surprise to anybody who's been following this along, but no matter how much I read, no matter how much I see, I just can't get desensitized to how they talk. The first thing that jumps out at you is Trump believes the state should be able to monitor a woman's pregnancies to make it easier to prosecute that woman and anyone that helps her obtain health care. The party of small government. I don't even know if they call themselves that anymore. That'd be too much of a joke, right? I haven't heard any one of them say it for a while. The party of small government, the party of keep your Obamacare out of my health care. They want the state to monitor women, to monitor girls' menstrual cycles. Just saying that sentence, just hearing that sentence in 2024 in the United States of America should really wake up anybody out there. And when the interview asked him if he would veto a federal law at this level, the federal government, not just states, monitoring every woman in the United States, monitoring her menstrual cycle, when they asked him if he would veto that clear violation of, the Fourth Amendment, the Third Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, when asked about that, he said he would not. And he doubled down. He has not evolved on his position to punish women who seek to get health care. I mean, we all remember this gem, right?
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 cents?
Remember this?
That I don't know. That
Why
I don't
not?
know. I don't
Women
know.
out there, Republican women, there has to be some form of punishment for the woman.
It's a very complicated position.
I'm asking, you're running for president, I'm not. I'm asking you, what should a woman face if she chooses to have an abortion?
I'm not
Why
going to
not?
play that
involved at all.
Game?
You
said you're pro-life.
I am pro-life.
That means banning abortion.
And so is the Catholic Church pro-life.
And so is the Catholic Church pro-life. As someone who dropped out of Catholic school in 2nd grade, because I kept asking the one question you weren't supposed to ask, and that's who made God, they finally got sick of me. They finally kicked me out of Catholic school. As someone who left Catholic school in 2nd grade, let me tell you something. I don't want the Catholic Church running this country. This is the United States of America. It's not the fucking Vatican. There has to be some form of punishment for the woman, modeled after the Catholic Church and built upon a federal system of monitoring women's menstrual cycles. What the actual hell is going on in this country, in this party? You see, there's no need for separation of church and state when the state is the church. In this same interview, Trump said he wouldn't stop the Life at Conception Act, which grants full legal rights to embryos. The woman around that embryo, sorry, not you, the egg inside of you. Remember Missouri? When they try to say an egg was a human being? That's what this act is. Now think Missouri, but on a national level, because the Republicans are going to cook it into the 2025 budget. And that's exactly what he said in this article he would sign off on. He needs that Christo-fascist vote so bad, that right-wing vote, that he said in this Times interview from this week that he wouldn't say that he won't ban birth control. Birth control. And that he has a super secret plan for birth control. I guess a poster of like Matt Gaetz' face for women to hang up on the ceiling that'll immediately kill their urge to have any kind of sex. He has a super secret plan. Where have we heard that before? Just like infrastructure work. Just like Trump healthcare. Things that never happened. The wall he was going to build. Everything's a super secret plan. If you still buy this, if you still buy any of this, I have some NFTs of Trump sneakers to sell you, you idiot. I hate to say that I still have to say this, but women in this country don't need this glob of a man who was found by a jury and a judge to have raped somebody. They don't need him deciding what they can do with their bodies, or need him in between them and their doctors in the United States in the year 2024. And he is so scared of losing that Christo-fascist vote, that base, that he'll go against all polling, really. And this is a guy who always goes crazy for polling, right? Even if he's only up by 1%. Look at this. He retweeted that President Trump crushes Biden in Pennsylvania. That's 1%. That's not even, that's within the margin of error by like 3% on each side. But that's crushes. It makes you understand how this guy doesn't know what 4 inches looks like. He thinks 4 inches is 9 inches, 10 inches. Anyway, I digress. In the CNN poll conducted April 18th to the 23rd of this year, 65 of the respondents said they disapprove of the Supreme Court's decision. And a lot of the time, these polls will cut out the Catholics or the evangelicals because they skew it, right? This one just polled everybody. So you have men in there along with women. I imagine if you poll women on both sides of the aisle, it's a lot higher than 65%. And as a bunch of the OGs on this channel know, I brought this up to my aunt in 2016, my aunt-in-law, when she told me she was voting for Trump. And just like every other Trump supporter, just like every other Republican up to this day, when you try to tell them something fact-based, it's not a conversation they have. They climb up on their cross. They're political victims, right? That persecution complex. You're coming after me because of how I want to vote. The snowflake moniker prescribed to people on the left. Snowflakes, they can't handle anything. They throw tantrums. I have never once in my life seen it play out. But I could give you countless examples of conversations with Republicans, with Chuds, that have devolved into tantrums, even fainting. That's right, fainting. And always retreating back into a persecution complex because they can't back up any of their ideas because at their core, the Republican Party is devoid of any ideas. And what I haven't seen from the right in at least, I don't know, 15 to 20 years is an articulated response that cites a policy issue and an idea to address that issue. Joe Biden is corrupt. Joe Biden's a socialist. Democrats are just as bad. You don't hear that one too much anymore. That one's kind of a hard sell to both sides, right? But never a cohesive policy idea, even an idea, not even a proposal. And it's exactly why my aunt-in-law was so shocked when Roe versus Wade got overturned, right? Because she was so busy climbing up on that cross of political persecution that's afforded, that's promised to the Republican Party, that she had no idea what she was voting for. Throw women in jail, ban contraception, monitor their periods, and that was only a portion, a small portion of this Times interview. In this interview, Donald Trump said he was going to deport 11 million people from this country. And in order to accomplish that, he's going to set up camps. He promised to deploy the military both outward and inward on our own country. Like I said, Amendment 3, 4, I think Republicans only stop counting amendments. Maybe they can only count that high, but at the second one, my guns amendment. I'm not breaking any news here. We all know Trump wants this, right? But this is an official interview he sat down with Time magazine, said it out loud. And Republicans, this time around, maybe in 2016, they would have at least feigned some outrage. But this time around, they're just nodding their heads like it's all completely normal. Like it's all completely in the spirit, in the same ballpark, in the same universe as a democratic republic. Compound that with a Supreme Court that placates Trump's every whim. Compound that with the Heritage Foundation joining up with 90 other radical right-wing think tanks to enact Project 2025 and replace every single person. They said they're going to replace every single person. 40,000 people they're getting rid of. And they're only replacing them with people that pass a purity test. He even went beyond Project 2025 in his interview. He's going to gut the civil service. Deploy the National Guard to cities he sees fit, no matter what. He's going to close the White House Pandemic Preparedness Office. I mean, come on. Did he not? Was he not president last time? Did he not see what that did? And they're going to keep pushing this false assertion for the next 4 years that he actually won the 2020 election. These protests at colleges where the kids are chanting, "Genocide Joe, Genocide Joe." You better enjoy it now. You better enjoy that free speech now, because as soon as Trump becomes president, the military's heading that way. I wish I was joking. He has said he would send the military to attack these kids on these campuses. My view on these protests is this is the time you're supposed to do it, when you're in college, before they stick you in a box for the rest of your life. This is when you're supposed to test the parameters, find out who you are. The time to protest is when you're at an institution where you're supposed to learn. It's not when you're a 40-year-old GED loser who got all his news from memes, so he decided to go attack the Capitol and try to overturn an election. Colleges are for this. When I was 19, when I was 20, I protested the Iraq War in the same way. I mean, obviously, I didn't have, doctor parents while I was at USC to bail me out and then buy me back into the school once I get expelled. But I did get rounded up by the SLCPD. There might be better ways for these kids to protest. I mean, who am I to say? I don't know. I'm old now, right? So they shouldn't listen to me anyway. It's the whole point of it all. But all I'm saying to them is, hurry up. Keep saying all the genocide Joes you can, because the next Trump administration, you're going to get droned for that. He also said he's going to withhold funds to blue states, Congress-approved funds. I mean, do you have any idea how crazy it is to say this stuff and still be tied while you're running for president? This entire interview reads like a warning from a time traveler from the future trying to tell us what's going to happen. If his U.S. attorney doesn't throw Biden in jail, doesn't throw Hunter Biden in jail from this, 3-4 year investigation that found nothing. If he doesn't throw him in jail for Trump, he will fire him. And to get more white nationalist boots on the ground, he's promised to pardon all the January 6th insurrectionists. He said he won't help Ukraine because obviously, and to all the genocide Joe yellers out there who I talked about earlier, guess who he is going to help? Guess who he's going to load up? Fellow fascist Netanyahu. He doesn't have one policy he wants to pass. The entire Republican Party has not had a platform, I'll say it again, in nearly 10 years. And yes, everybody watching this already knows it. All right? I'm just saying, we're all desensitized to it. But my argument is, in this late stage of capitalism, when we're so ripe to slip right into fascism, maybe we shouldn't be desensitized to it. Trump is the new Adolf. If it's your first time here, you like this video, well, you shouldn't like this video. This is a terrible video to make. But if you like me talking about the terrible stuff, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching the Chud Report.
Question in front of us is, how much longer can we just blame Joe Biden for our problems?